What up, though? So look, right, I've been wanting to do this video. I'm always sharing a lot of business game, right? Game for people that's looking to become owner operators and stuff like that. But this video is strictly for people that's looking to get into driving trucks, right? And let's say going over the road isn't an option for you, because typically that's how it works. You get your CDL and then you go over the road, you place with a trainer, and you get your experience, right? Well, this opportunity right here that I want to share with y'all is a way for you to get your CDL and not have to go over the road. All right. So typically there's two types of shipments when it comes to trucking, right? You have a truckload and then you have a LTL. Truckloads is TL. LTL is stands for less than truckload. So in Maryland, if you Google less than truckload companies, it's a lot of companies, right, that specialize in hauling less than truckload shipments, right? Companies like FedEx Freight, Old Dominion Freight Lines, XPO Logistics, just to name a few, right? So how those companies work is a lot of these companies, they have their own school. So if you were able to get your foot in the door, that makes it a lot easier for you to get into one of their positions to go to their school and end up driving a truck, right? And the great thing about it is LTL, in my personal opinion, is one of the best industries parts to be in, the best divisions, I'll say, to be in trucking, because it's all local, right? And a lot of it has a lot of hours, right? There's two operations to it. You got a daytime operation. Those guys are called P&D. They do pickup and delivery all day. So in the mornings, they're going out doing their deliveries. In the evenings, they're doing all their pickups and they're bringing them back to the terminal, right? I used to work for one, so I know how the operation works. And then you have, for some of y'all who like working at night, you got a night operation too. So how the night operation works is those guys are called line haul drivers. So all they do is they get paid by the mile, a real top dollar rate by the mile. So how that operation works is they come in, they hook up to their trailers, and they go from terminal to terminal, just driving, you know what I mean, from terminal to terminal. All pays real good, you know what I'm saying? So there's two operations that you can get your foot into. So how you go about doing it is, when it comes to applying to these companies, you look online. First thing you could do is you can try to get in with what's called a driver apprentice opportunity. For all of that, all you do is got to have your permit, right? But I'll be honest, a lot of times trying to get in with that position could be a little tough. Definitely not impossible. I know a homie that did it, you know what I mean? But a lot of times it can be a little tough trying to get in with the driver apprentice, because typically a company won't even have to make a post online about the opportunity, because they already have a driver lined up, somebody that's currently already in the door, right? But typically, sometimes the best way to get into it, right, is just getting your foot in the door and working what's called a forklift operator. Every LTL company has what's called forklift operators, right, where they work the dock. These are the people that unload the trailers. So if you can get your foot in the door, you know what I mean, with a forklift operator position, and of course express to your terminal manager, express to the company that you're interested in driving the trucks, how it will work is you'll come in, let's say you work the dock for 6-7 months or whatever the case may be, you express to them, you're constantly putting a bug in their ear that you're very interested in driving trucks, right? As long as your driving record, all of that stuff checks out, they'll then send you to their school, which might be located out of state or somewhere. But the great thing about it is you're still getting paid to go to their school. They'll send you to their school, right? You'll train, get your CDL with them. Once you get your CDL, you'll then, you know what I mean, come back, be placed with one of their, trainers, one of their, their lead drivers who trains all of the newbies. You'll be placed with them for a short period of time, be able to get your training in with them, and then the rest is history. You get your own truck. So that's a great opportunity, right, that a lot of people might not know about, and how you can get your CDL, you know what I mean, technically for free. And also how you can get your CDL without having to go over the road. Because one of the biggest challenges when you factor in, especially if you got a family, kids and stuff like that, it's safe to say everybody can't make that sacrifice and go over the road. Because I'll be honest, it's definitely tough. Typically how it works is, you're over the road, sometimes gone for maybe a week at a time, maybe even 2 weeks at a time, and the pay is very, very little. When you first get your CDL and you go over the road, the pay is extremely little because the company's investing in you. You're not in your own truck yet. You're strictly an investment for the company. They're not making no money off you by putting you with that trainer. They're investing into you. So that's why the pay is real, real low. But typically, if you're able to do this operation here, working for an LTL company, you know, some companies, not all companies, but some companies, I work for one where they pay $20 an hour just to work the dock. That's no CDL required. You know what I mean? So LTL is a great opportunity, man, to get your foot in the door. I know if I didn't own my own company and I was still driving, I would absolutely be doing LTL. One thing to remember, though, about getting into LTL, you are going to need your endorsement. Because once you get your CDL, there are endorsements that you can add to your CDL depending on what you're hauling. One is doubles and triples. Some of y'all who been following me since day one, y'all know I used to work for FedEx Ground, where you had to have doubles and triples to work with FedEx Ground. That's hauling 2 trailers, right? And then you have hazmat, which is just strictly hauling hazardous material stuff. And then you have a tanker endorsement, which LTL companies, they haul a lot of like bulk liquids and stuff like that. So they want you to have that tanker endorsement as well, right? So that's just one thing to keep in mind when you're applying to these companies. And if you already have your CDL, you are going to need these endorsements. A lot of companies won't even look at your application if you do not have these endorsements. So just keep that in mind. So again, LTL stands for less than truckload. There are a lot of less than truckload companies, and how it works is a lot of them are pretty much in every state. So let's say there's a shipment here coming out of Maryland that's going to California. Well, how the LTL works is, since everyone there is local, and of course you got a few guys that got sleepers that drive for the company and run over the road, but most of it is local. How it works is it just works its way to California, wherever the shipment is going. Because they're in every state, it just slowly goes from terminal to terminal to terminal to terminal. So that's the great thing about the LTL side, man. It's a lot of hours with it, which those who already know one thing about trucking, if you're not into trucking and you're getting new to trucking, I go ahead and tell you right now, you know, it's a lot of hours that comes with it, right? But those that's currently in the business, they know, you know, it takes a lot of hours. You know, in order to make money in trucking, you're not going to work an 8-hour day, right? So just keep that in mind, man. A lot of the LTL companies, you know, once you cap out and pay, or even just been there for a short period of time, but you're getting a lot of hours. Typical pay is anywhere between $60,000 and $80,000, and of course the guys that's senior, that's been there for a long, long time, they're making upwards of 6 figures. So great opportunity, LTL. Look into it if you're looking to get into the business.